Welcome everybody. In this tutorial series, I'm going to show you how to code in SpriteKit for OSX. Let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing here. This is Xcode. This is Apple's flagship software that you need to use in order to make your apps and upload it to the App Store. Now there are third-party applications that you can use to make games. For example, you could use Unity 3D or Unity 2D. You could use GameSolid, and there's a bunch of other engines as well. But this engine here, Xcode, is meant to work with the devices, Apple devices, as best as possible. All right, and as you can see here, this is the new project window. If you don't see this, you can go to File, New, Project. Okay, and then you should come up with a window that's similar to this. And if you haven't downloaded Xcode, you need to go to the App Store and then download Xcode. All right, so now that we have covered that, let's take a look at the items here. You'll notice that there's iOS, WatchKit, and OSX. iOS is anything that's mobile, so that's your watch, that's your iPhone, and that's your iPad, and it's all versions of that. iOS is a streamlined version of OSX to make the consistent Apple user experience on devices that don't have as much resources. And if you don't know this, actually iPhones and iPads are not as powerful as your computer. All right, and the WatchKit, you'll notice that it says iOS WatchKit. So in theory it could be under iOS, but for now this is just the way it looks. But OSX is a little bit different. It works for computers, so like your MacBook Pro, your iMac, etc. And you'll notice that there is the game here. And the best part about this window is that at the bottom here, it shows you what the game is at the bottom, just like this, right? And it tells you whatever every single thing does. In this case, we want to work with the SpriteKit game. Now, SpriteKit is a framework that is meant to make games. Now, apps and games are a little bit different. Apps don't have as much interaction as games do. Games, you're almost constantly interacting with it, and there's a little bit of technical things that you need to consider with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and push next on the game here, and we're going to call this SpriteKit, or we'll call it 1 hour SpriteKit, and then OSX, like that. Okay. Now these other items here are not as important. They're more important for uploading to the App Store. In this case, you can see that you can put in your name or your company name, like Mammoth Interactive, etc. And you want to make sure that the language is Swift, because that's Apple's new language and it's amazing, and I highly recommend using it. And the other thing is that you either have SceneKit, SpriteKit, or Metal. Now, SpriteKit is the 2D version of what we're going to be using here. SceneKit is the 3D version. So 2D games are where all the images are two-dimensional, and 3D is like rendering within a real space here. Highly recommend that you just use SpriteKit, but that's that. All right, so we'll go ahead and push next here, and you also want to go ahead and push create. Okay, once you go ahead and create this, you'll see that Xcode is working here. And what I'm going to do is, it might take a bit of time to actually fully load here, as you can see here, but for the most part, that is what we need to do in order to start our Xcode project. This concludes the tutorial.